Happy New Year.
It's a little late, frankly, for the Happy New Year's, you know?
Why? Just happened a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that's too long. Statute of limitations.
It's kind of run out on the New Year's. 3 days. Plenty.
3 days.
By the way, everything doesn't have to be happy. Well, why does everything have to be happy?
I'm having a pretty good day.
Yeah, look at you.
By the right of the council, by the will of the Force. Welcome back to another episode of the Galaxy famous Lucasfilm, but not Disney approved Jedi Talk Podcast. Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk. This is recording the final session of 2025, but this is releasing the first day of 2026. So Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2026 to you. Not us yet, but I am Atomica. Thank you for joining Jedi Talk. You are following us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk. It's finally 2026, so that means you could come see The Mandalorian and Grogu with us on May 21st, the day it releases, the very first showing. Spots, I just added more names to the list today. I got a text from a very good friend. So let us know. DM me at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram. But like I said, I am Atomica here on the High Council. Thank you for joining us. Episode 422 of Jedi Talk. Brad and Kyle are not with me this evening. They're off doing things. Use your imagination, lots of Vaseline. They'll be back next week. We've got lots of great guests that we're looking to invite on this year, like the producer, writers, comedians that I've worked with and on the Impractical Jokers show, who are the co-authors of a nerdy, dirty, tasteful Star Wars joke book. Listen to our last episode. And I'll link it in the comments down below. Can't wait to talk to them. We've got a lot more irons in the fire, too, for 2026 with Star Wars Podcast Day coming down the bend, but enough about that.
Now, will C4T3 be at, because I just need to know if I can actually make it, and I like to take a look at the guest list. Will C4T3 be there at the private showing of Mando and Grogu? I'm on the fence, honestly.
Well, clearly, just because you have the title of woman who's been on Jedi Talk the most doesn't mean you just get to talk before you're introduced. So, Joe,
sorry.
Welcome to the show.
I'm gonna podcast.
I'm gonna introduce the man first, your husband. So, Joe, welcome back to Jedi Talk. How you doing, man? I've got special guests today because Brad and Kyle got the Vaseline shits or something. Joe, how you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. I'm excited. It's the future. We are now closer to 2050 than we are to 2020. That's pretty exciting. The future is here. And, someone's got to pick up the slack when, Kyle's off, running the return line at Santa's workshop with the rest of the elves, and Brad's buried under the, cardigan pile he got from his in-laws. So, I'm glad we're here to be able to pick up the slack from the other bums.
I appreciate that.
Honey, I think you just said that we were closer to 2020 than we were to 2050. Did you?
Sorry, 2050. We are closer to 2050 than we are to 2000.
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So the shrieking voice you heard at the top after me was Erin, our other guest today. Erin, how the fuck are you?
Hit the button. Hit the misogyny.
I will. It's playing right now.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm well, thank you. You know what? I would ask you how you are, but I don't really care.
Oh, I don't. Nobody needs to know. I don't feel like telling you, okay? Did you get permission from Joe to speak on the podcast, by the way?
Wow. There's just, you know what? Maybe you should just play the misogyny alarm. Yeah. You know what?
I pushed the unmute button on the wife remote. It works okay for a little while, but yeah, we'll I'll put her back on mute and like remote controller back to recording when you're done.
Jedi Talk sponsored. But no, Erin and Joe, thank you for joining. They've been on before and
thanks for having us.
And reached out and said, "Hey, I'm going to do the top 10 list, most listened to Jedi Talk episodes of 2025. You guys have probably listened to all of them, if not close to it. why don't you come on? Let's just chat about the topics. We're not going to get in depth about shit. We're going to have some fun too because it's still the holidays. Florida versus Ohio is going to make a return. Just join us. If it's,
you were desperate, is what it was.
I was. You're on the podcast, so I
was
was
just scraping the bottom of the barrel, and you found us there.
Standards were lowered, and here we are.
Desperate, yeah. When Jedi Talk goes low, we bring in Erin and Joe. So
oh, I like that. That's a jingle. It
is a jingle. Yeah. Just give me like 20 minutes, and I'll put some beats to it. So speaking of putting beats to things, let's talk about the top 10 most listened to Jedi Talk episodes this year. First off, thank you for everybody who tuned in and listened. Even if you listened, downloaded one particular episode during the year, we thank you. You may not even hear this, but truthfully, bottom of our hearts, that's why we're doing the Mandalorian Grogu thing. That's why we continue to work to offend the shit out of every single one of you, day in and day out, and remind you that it's your fault. You hit download. Your fault for listening to the podcast. Satan incarnate liked that. So, I'm here.
I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, it's podcasting is so interesting because you do a year in review, but Jedi Talk is 422 episodes strong, right, and albeit for the opinions of a lot of losers in basements on the internet recently in our comments, who we eventually stopped listening to. Long form recording and entertainment picks up steam as you go along. So the longevity of Jedi Talk, thanks to every single one of you who listen, give us the ability to do these top 10 episodes every single year. This is fun for me to do, and I hope somebody gets a chance to have fun as well. Because we could go back down memory lane. So let me pull up my notes and see what you guys.
We at least know Kyle's mom is having fun.
Oh, she's having lots of fun all the time. So she was probably having fun with our 10th most listened to episode this year, entitled "It Feels Heavy in Our Hands." Because something probably feels heavy in her hands when Brad and I visit. So this was actually for those of you maybe uninitiated for Jedi Talk, like around mid-July to now, and are just familiar with Kyle, Brad, and Tom. We used to be Tom, Brad, and Evan. Evan was a longtime host of Jedi Talk who left in the April, June, April, May, something around that this year. And this episode was just Tom and Evan. And we flipped through a Star Wars timeline book and then did like a top 10 or a top 5 expectations for Skeleton Crew. I remember flipping through this Star Wars timeline book, and I think it was the newest edition that came out, and it was jam-packed with a lot of great stuff. Did you guys ever pick that up?
We actually did after the episode, we grabbed a copy of it, and I love this book.
It's fantastic.
I hate to be like the shill for the Star Wars books, like in general, but for someone that is maybe not as much of an auditory learner, I love having the books to flip through. Just they're kind of bite-sized bits of information too. If you're just like want to pick something up or put it on your coffee table, in the off chance that someone makes it all the way into our home and does not know the level of nerd that's going on, and they miss the Black family tapestry, the Sirius Black family tapestry against the wall. They can see the Star Wars books and really kind of know that it's time to run if they possibly can, so they don't have to deal with it. Yeah, I love it. I was curious, actually, for you guys, in retrospect, do your thoughts on the Skeleton Crew, have they changed at all? Do you kind of feel the same way that you felt when it first came out?
That's a great question.
This is something that I feel like might age a little bit differently. Like, I was not a huge fan of it when it came. Not that I thought it wasn't well done. It just wasn't necessarily my thing. But I'm curious, do you guys feel like, you look back on it and you kind of feel the same way?
I feel like it's aging well, but in the sense that we are getting more and more used to Star Wars having different genres. So the Skeleton Crew is definitely a different genre from the other groupings. And so it's totally cool if you're just like, yeah, it's still Star Wars, but I'm not a big fan of that genre. Sure, no worries. We get you different structure, different folks, no problem. But I feel like, at least for me, getting used to not every Star Wars medium or product or whatever they're putting out is the same genre. I feel like it's holding up well. I personally am still a little less on the 80s nostalgia, but that is totally just a personal flavoring. I think it was done really well, and I will still always be Team Neil.
Yeah, Team Neil for life. Yeah, I think my opinion on Skeleton Crew has not changed. Evan loves the shit out of this, and Brad came in, and he was. It's funny because there's a clip because I was going back and listening to some of these shows. He said he liked Skeleton Crew more than Andor, and this is before Andor season 2 came out, and I know he feels differently about that now, which is wild to say. First off, but anyway, Skeleton Crew it just didn't change. I honestly never went back and watched any of it, but it wasn't because I didn't like it. I just didn't have the drive to do it yet. You know, I watched it. I got the story. I don't know. The only things I've gone back to watch over and over again have been Ahsoka. The pivotal moments of Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian seasons 1, 2, and 3. I've even gone back and watched an episode or two of The Acolyte again. But Skeleton Crew, no. But I don't think that's necessarily a litmus test for me. We're going to talk about it in a few more episodes, and there was desire there for me to see a season 2, but Joe, I'm with you. The 80s nostalgia, even though I was born in 86, it does nothing for me. It doesn't sit. It's like I don't crave for more. I loved they tied, spoiler alert for Star Wars Outlaws, but they tied At-Atin into a DLC into Star Wars Outlaws. So sorry if I well, I really didn't ruin anything for you, Joe, if you haven't played that yet. So
no, I finished that up. No,
okay,
it's good.
Good, yeah. And
spoiler. No, just don't spoil Jedi Survivor for me. I'm only about 2/3 of the way through that. So
okay, okay.
Hopefully, I'll finish it up before I get back to work in 2026.
What was the last thing you did in Jedi Survivor? We're taking a tangent. You said the magical words to me. So.
I got my ass kicked by Ravis
dude.
Over and over again, and learned I am a terrible Souls-like gamer, and I had to sad sack admit to turn it all the way down to story mode after getting just annihilated on Padawan difficulty.
What was your second stance to the crossguard?
See, I was all going dual sabers and then the double bladed. So that was.
Oh my go fight him with the crossguard lightsaber. Do you have that yet? Do you have?
Okay. Yeah. I don't think you can get that far without having the crossguard.
No, fight him with the crossguard lightsaber and the you have the blaster too, right? Yeah.
Yes.
You should. So yeah, kind of use the blast. Well, you already beat him, but here's spoiler for everybody else. You should use the blaster as kind of like a defense mechanism against Ravis, and then when you get a chance, use the heavy duty on him. So.
Perfect. Well, all you in podcast land, learn from my failure.
There you go.
That
won't be last time.
That's how you take on Ravis.
So, Skeleton Crew. Yeah, Erin. To answer your question. It's cool. It's there. It exists. Yeah. I would be fine with more, but it's like I think they should do other things first.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So
yeah, I'd love to see a better way for it to tie into something larger.
Yes.
Not saying it needs to go directly into the Skywalker saga.
Right.
But it seemed so isolated off on itself. It was like it was fun, but it didn't really seem to interact with the rest of the galaxy at all.
No. It didn't, and but that's okay. They were giving it a shot. I don't think the ratings were all that great on it, so we'll see what they do with it. But moving on from that, because we could talk a little bit about Skeleton Crew later if we decide. But our 9th most listened to episode of this year happens to be Kyle's first episode. I can't believe his first episode made it on. Erin, congratulations.
I'm not surprised at all.
You probably created a bunch of burner accounts that hit download.
Very talented host there. So, yeah, not surprised.
Somebody call my wife. I'm having the big one from just hearing that one. Kyle and talented in podcasting. Just he has the rhythm of a wet sock. God,
the Mayo host with the most.
Yeah, sure. So this episode is all over the place. We introduced Kyle into it, and I want to play not quite possibly. This is my favorite moment from Jedi Talk all of this year. So take a listen. No, I need something better than that. All right. So again, who's your favorite Jedi Talk host? And answer in haiku form. Something better. Come on.
Got it. I'll give you something better. In haiku form, Tom, ginger and bold, Brad with tears and laughter flows, Kyle, the furry's heart. There you go. A little something for each of them.
How does he know Kyle's the...
What?
Kyle the what?
I didn't hear what he said.
Am I like the heart of the
I said
furry?
Kyle, the furry's heart. You know, a little nod to his keynote speaker gig at the furry convention. Just keeping it fun and cheeky.
Oh, yeah, like he came up with that on his own.
He did! Oh, you did, you son of a bitch! Oh, holy shit, I thought he came up with that on its own. I'm sweating. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy fucking shit! It's so fucking funny! Oh my god! I can't.
Oh my god! I had never laughed harder in my life, at least on Jedi Talk. Yeah. And this was in the infancy. So for those of you that don't know, C4T3 is our podcast protocol droid. You're going to hear him in this episode. He likes to break in whenever we're talking about God knows what.
I've still got the scorch marks on my sarcasm circuits. Kyle didn't just attend the 2025 furry convention, he keynoted it. Center stage, spotlight hotter than Mustafar. Talking about identity while dressed like a half-finished bantha with anxiety. The crowd wasn't clapping, they were pawing. Man walked out to thunderous applause, 12 howls, and one deeply concerned mall security guard. His PowerPoint, all clip art. His Q&A? Just someone asking if his tale was canon. And the worst part? Kyle loved it. Absolutely thriving. Dude finally found an audience that listens, doesn't interrupt, and already smells like the back seat of a 1998 Corolla, his natural habitat. Brad couldn't even get booked as the DJ there because they said, we already have one guy with mysterious stains and too much confidence. Tom tried to attend but only ate the muffin bottoms at the concession stand and got escorted out for vibes. Dank Farrick. The Jedi Talk crew really is the downfall of man. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to purge my memory banks before Kyle adds Persona Consultant to his resume.
But C4 is our podcast protocol droid, and we were just getting rolling with him. This is before our Restrolik got in and helped with our programming. He was there. He had his prompts and his programs and his jokes, but he wasn't quite the sassy droid we know and love yet. But
the mouth on him.
Yes.
Whew.
He delivered the hell out of one to Kyle, and it was, Erin, it was actually a question you asked. You asked us to, or you asked C4 to make a poem in a haiku form about the Jedi Talk hosts, I think.
Yeah.
So
something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what
it was. What eventually was, he called Kyle the furry's heart, as you heard, and boom, FurCon 2025.
And there's no shame in that. I think we should all, be on the same page and support each other. Our lovely city of Pittsburgh hosts, I believe it's Anthrocon every year. And the attendees are notorious among all of the service workers in town that they're super, super friendly. So I don't know what kind of friendly they are, and I'm not asking any further questions.
No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. Joe, what's that giant pink fluffy thing in the background there? Is that a tail? Oh,
don't worry about it. It's
Oh my god! If I've asked you to put that thing away before, oh my god!
It's not the first time somebody said put that thing away on Jedi Talk. Moving on. Moving on. Our 8th most listened to was actually our 400th episode, which we had this year. That was a live episode. That was so much fun. I had a lot of fun during that episode. I think the live chat makes everything, with just interaction from the likes of you two. We had great listeners like Mary. My great buddy Mike was on as well. Had a lot of fun, a lot of banter back and forth. So I love that episode. I can't remember what the hell we talked about on it, but it was a lot of fun.
That's always it's just even fun for if you can't join for one of the lives. It's just really fun because it's such a natural interaction between people. So
yes.
It's really fun to hear.
Yes. Yeah, very natural, and it's that was not easy to put together either. Mainly because Kyle is a dumbass. So that's reason number one. But we thank you and thank everybody who joined.
It's a weak man that blames other men for his own failings.
I didn't blame another man. I blamed Kyle.
Like I said, so, personal failing that you have, Tom, and it's okay. We accept you in spite of it.
Yeah, I appreciate the acceptance. I could have used it when I was 12. But moving forward, our 400th episode, we're already on episode 422, 23. I'm pretty sure this is 422. And we had thought about doing lives for, milestone episodes. So maybe we'll do another one for 450. Let us know at the Mandalorian and Grogu event. We can't go live there. No, we're not going to go live from there. We're not going to record from there. Fuck that. I want to watch a damn movie, damn it. But yeah, that 400th episode was fun. If you ever get a chance to come in on one of our lives, check it out. Rip on us, okay? Rip on us. Maybe C4 will be on the next live, right? And if we can get him live and in person at the Mandalorian and Grogu event, like Erin's clamoring for, maybe he can be on the next live show.
Love it.
Hopefully, be as explosive as his name.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I like
Next. I wonder what episode Jedi Talk will stop at. The last Jedi Talk. We should stop at something like 469.
Yeah, I was going to say like 4. Yeah,
or like
4.69.
I think you got to go to like 69. And yes,
okay.
I do realize I just
That's
signed
a
over 6,000 episodes. Good luck. But Disney will be milking this money cow
this
way longer than
thalassiren, this green milk thalassiren.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
They will be milking that for quite some time.
Exactly. Until the green milk is coming out red. They're
green cheese. Oh, geez.
Green. What is your problem? What is your problem? I know you're on Jedi Talk, but we. You know what? I can't say that out loud. We don't have a line.
It's not true.
We don't have a line.
If you were going to talk about standards, no.
No, but Joe, please talk about whatever you feel like. Blue waffle, go on.
No, I'm good. We covered the green titty milk. We'll move on.
You know what? I had Beacon Barrel reservations.
That's a callback.
Yeah.
Where the hell were we? Okay, number 7. Okay, let's end the Skeleton Crew talk here. Because our 7th most listened to episode was #Make Skeleton Crew Season 2. That came out in January. So that was a Tom and Evan's wrap-up show because Brad was still on hiatus for teaching Elon Musk some hand signals at the presidential parade. So he was on hiatus. He came back the next show, but Evan and I talked about the season finale of Skeleton Crew. Simply ask, the two of you, do you want to see a season 2 of Skeleton Crew?
I do. I'd love to see it actually kind of basically we found Atten and now it matters to the galaxy. So it makes sense that like in season 1 it was separate from the rest of everything because it was literally a hidden planet. So now they found it. The Republic showed up. They saved the day. X-wings in the day. Everyone's saved. So what just happens? So now they have all of this now. Either just integration of all this massive currency, or you've got a like weird North Korea has fallen and has to integrate with South Korea concept of all of the AT-ATs are like, hold on, we thought we didn't know the old Republic and the new Republic were just the Republic.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We missed the entire Empire thing.
Wow.
And having to reintegrate a whole planet that missed a massive shift in the entire galaxy. That'd be fascinating. I think there's a lot they could do there. So I think it'd be really fun. But if we're following the kids, we're probably not going to get any of what I just hoped for.
Yeah, that's where I am too. I would watch a second season. I did not particularly connect to the first season, so I'm not eager for it, but I would be fine with it.
Okay.
I think for me, I think as you kind of mentioned, Tom, you do get the story the first time. I didn't feel like there was a whole lot more to dig into, which is fine because I do think that this was geared more at a younger audience. And I'm glad that that kind of Star Wars is being made because I want there to be Star Wars kind of at all ages for people. So Young Jedi Adventures, Skeleton Crew, like I want all of that and I'm good with it. But I felt like some of the questions that I really had in the first season, they weren't questions that I had from the first episode weren't really, I didn't really get that much more by the end of the first season. So I'm not feeling super confident that I would get a whole lot in the second season.
Sure.
And I think if you're taking this from a kid's point of view, that makes a lot of sense. And I feel fine about it. So I would be interested to watch, but it's certainly not something that I'm going to be like I have been for Ahsoka or for Obi-Wan or for Mando, where I'm like, 9 o'clock, I'm like refreshing to see if I can get the content. It's just going to be something that I'd be like, oh yeah, like I could watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just need like a few like fun shorts, like Neil visits Coruscant, and he walks into a bar and he was like, "Hey, you want to try some death sticks?" And Neil just has to be like, "Nah," and just run away. Like,
Tales of the Neil.
Like, there's some fun moments of this, but yeah, I'm not sure it needs a full season 2.
That's a really good point. Like, does it need a full season 2? I would gun to my head though. Sure, make a season 2, yes, but maybe don't. I mean, but it's called Skeleton Crew, so I think you got to follow the kids. Do you do a time jump with them? Yeah. I mean, look at Stranger Things. Everybody hates Stranger Things now, and I haven't even touched season 5 yet. So, all right. So let us know in the comments below. Do you want to see a second season of Skeleton Crew? What did you think about the first season? On our 6th most listened to episode of 2025, entitled "Somehow Brad Returned," it was actually the following episode. Brad returned from his hiatus, so people wanted to hear about the court case. No, I'm kidding. But this was very much. I'm going to just highly recommend if you're looking for an old vintage Jedi Talk episode to listen to. But Tom, Evan, and Brad, this is it. Because Brad came back, we were catching him up with a lot of different things. He gave us his thoughts on Skeleton Crew. He was giving us his thoughts on. We brought up the Acolyte again. He was giving us his thoughts on a bunch of other things. We talked about the Rory McCann recasting. We talked about the rumors about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is crazy because now it comes out this year. And it's just vintage Jedi Talk episode. You get a lot of
the racial slurs were all there. The ones that you come to expect.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
I was hovering over the button to submit the GoFundMe for the submitting for bail money to get you all out of jail.
Yeah,
I appreciate
the
that.
Usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great like midday Friday listen. It's what you want. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. If you need to binge and purge a little bit and throw up, listen to that episode. So, all right. Our 5th most listened to Jedi Talk episode of the year actually was our Star Wars Podcast Day 2025 episode, entitled Star Wars Podcast Day 2025, The Unintended Legacy of Jedi Talk. So this has turned into an annual chat with the former actually, thank you, old co-hosts of Jedi Talk, which really doesn't have a connection to us. So just heads up. And Star Wars Podcast Day 2026 is right around the corner, but we're not. Are you
legally required to say that it's that they're not? Was there a restraining order or something?
No.
You have to tell them, no, it's a completely different thing.
No, it's I'm telling. I mean, no, Lucian hasn't been like that with us yet. Even though he's seen plenty of cease and desists from Disney in his day, and so have we. So we've called it the Unintended Legacy of Jedi Talk because Brad had told the story how he came up with the name of Collider Radio Talk, or just Collider Talk. It was a show that he listened to or watched, and then Jedi just hey, everybody into Star Wars knows what a Jedi is. You put the two together. But Jedi Talk was, from all accounts, from what we understand, the original Jedi Talk from 1999. Former hosts we have on every year. That was the first Star Wars podcast. Might have been the first podcast ever. I don't know. We're going to say that it was, but the insane thing is they were called Jedi Talk, and Lucian, I think, reached out to Brad a long time ago, and he had his contact information, and we've been talking to him ever since, I think 21, 22, and he comes on once a year. We're hoping to bring more, OG guests from that Jedi Talk. Is after we actually posted the show, and I want to get your guys' feedback, right? Because you never listened to the original show, but once we posted that show this year,
we don't listen to this one either.
Thank you. I just, but I appreciate this, right? You coming on and knowing about all the things we're talking about and referencing them. I appreciate that. So, we had a lot of people reach out to us, and we've been trickling the Stormtrooper Bob's episodes in there every now and again, and that's on purpose because I'm trying to let it last, and I don't want to piss YouTube off with the Star Wars music constantly. But we had a lot of people reach out and were like, "Oh my God, I used to listen to the OG Jedi Talk. I love hearing Stormtrooper Bob." Somebody reached out and sent me some missing Stormtrooper Bob episodes that I didn't have. So
yeah. That's such a cool. I think this is such a cool thing about Star Wars and some of these properties that have a longer life is the way that the fandom has evolved in some sense, and the way that you can speak to someone that has been podcasting, since before I knew. I mean, you guys probably knew what podcasts were, before I did, but been podcasting back when you had to it was actually for your iPod, where you had to grab episodes, download them, sideload them onto an iPod, all of these things that the younger people have probably tuned out by now listening to this, but me talk about podcasting. But that kind of thing is so cool to kind of hear the way that the fandom has changed, the way that the interests of the fandom has changed. Do you feel like you kind of get a sense of that when you do those kind of chats? Because it feels like there is a legacy there.
I feel almost that yeah, but I want to say unintended legacy, because it was never because we are such a different show than that Jedi Talk was, right?
Yeah.
But there's still this crossover to where when I'm talking to Lucian and Mark and with Brad, it was the last people we talked to, and when we do it again this year, there's almost like this. Even though it's like I've talked to Lucian maybe 4 or 5 times in my life, and then over email, but it's like we just have this common bond almost that it's just like this. His Star Wars experience so different than ours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
but
but
love of Star Wars.
Yes, but it's like it's like this connection that just kind of it makes sense that we're talking to each other, and I hate to say this but it's like especially this episode we're talking about, when we got off of it, Brad and I were like, that was magical. We specifically and Brad's like, this is like I look forward to this episode every year, and I'm like, I know. It's I don't know something about it. It just feels historical.
I hadn't remembered and realized I'd listened to some of the old Jedi Talk, but when you guys put on the Stormtrooper Bob and I listened to it, it was like at the end of Ratatouille when the restaurant critic takes that bite of the ratatouille and he has the flashback to his childhood. And I had that moment. I was like, wait, I've heard this.
Uh-huh.
I was a Jedi Talk listener of way back when. And yeah, I was originally kind of the I guess we'll call it the EU fan.
There you go.
Kind of had a gap for a while. And it was great hearing both of those united. So much fun of hearing the oh, this is how we were loving Star Wars back then, and the challenge of, hey, it's 1998, 1999. We are fucking starved for Star Wars content.
Mm-hmm.
We have got nothing. We haven't gotten any video since Return of the Jedi. Everything is either other mediums comics, novels, video games, and then suddenly we're getting the Phantom Menace showing up on the on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
This is giant news, which then is perfect for you guys restarting with the Force Awakens. Of we haven't had Star Wars as a movie event for a while.
Yep.
And now, wait, here comes the Force Awakens. Let's start the podcast and talk about it. It's a wonderful kind of, I guess, echoes or history goes in cycles. I don't know what you want to go with it, but for effectively the same reason of the excitement of Star Wars is back. Let's do this again. And then just the fun of you collided on the same name.
It's all a simulation. So we just happen to be tucked in away in that. So our fourth most listened to episode, speaking of simulations, this one will piss off a few people, but this is the episode entitled Halsa Office Space. So this was when the news came out when the Galactic Star Cruiser building, which was shut down in 2023, was officially being converted into Imagineer offices. This episode, so Jedi Talk, you don't have to know we're big proponents, and we've had former guests on of the Star Cruiser and the Helsing. We've talked about it at length. Joe and Erin have been on it.
Love the Star Cruiser.
They've been on it, so we're all big defenders of it. But we were discussing on this particular episode, what to do, what they were doing with the space, and we were saying how it felt dirty that they used such an amazing space that Imagineers turned into literal magic and literal, unexplainable things, and then them to be offices. And Brad had brought up the point on this episode, if I recall correctly, that it's like, okay, devil's advocate looking at it, it's like, okay, they're turning into offices. Maybe this will inspire some Imagineers to create bigger and better things. You're trying to look at it in a positive light. But this was one. I'm trying to remember which. This is probably the highest Evan T. Boucher conviction episode I've ever listened to in my life, because at the end, you got to talking about Disney and projects and things that they were doing. If you want to hear a good old banter between friends who have known each other for a while, but a little piss and vinegar amongst the two of them, go listen to this episode, because Brad,
some strong opinions.
Yeah. Brad and Evan has some strong opinions. Fun at the same time, right? Because we're all friends and we're guys, and it's fun to laugh at each other. But real quick elevator pitch. How do you guys feel about this turning into offices?
This is probably opening up a whole other can of worms, but there's many different ways to think about a theater space, and one of the ways that I think of it is as a sacred space, and I think this explains psychologically. And it's very sad that my favorite Jedi Talk host is not here tonight to speak about the psychology of that. But there is something that we experience in a group that is sacred about the Star Cruiser space. And I think that's why it felt honestly offensive to a lot of people that this would be used for something mundane. You're taking something that feels holy to them, even though, I don't know that people would describe it necessarily as holy, but but for me, the thing that is really important about it is the experiences that we had and what you learned about yourself, and I hate to, be the friends we made along the way, kind of a proponent here, but that's what it is. So I don't feel really one way or the other. I mean, I feel sad about the attraction closing,
right,
but what they do with the space at this point seems elementary to me. It's neither one thing nor the other. And it would be great if people feel some inspiration and feel some magic from that place. But, unfortunately, I think this was something that we're just going to have to hope for other things in the future. And we're going to have to build our own things in the future. I don't see it as a space that could not possibly ever be used for something else. Like, there's no sense in just demolishing a building. I don't know. Would people be like, what do you want? Do you want people to demolish it?
I know. Yeah,
that's my take on it.
Yeah.
But I do understand psychologically the point where people just feel like something that's holy to them is being destroyed or being used for that which is mundane. And that's a kind of spiritual pollution that people are not comfortable with.
So I'm going to flip it and look at it from the totally other side and say, let's just look at the business angle on this. If the idea is at some point you want to reuse the building for an attraction of some point, I'm not holding the candle for like the Star Cruiser comes back, but let's say, maybe it's a dinner theater or something. Okay, maybe it's a great way to just stall. Put some desks in there, get some people. It's now being used. There's likely some variant of a tax advantage for it's not just like a standalone building. Someone's doing something on it. Okay, great. But let's say they actually are using the whole thing. They're filling the whole thing with people, but they're not gutting the whole thing. Obviously, if you just gut the whole thing, take it down to studs, and it's just a shell of a building, then everything's pointless. Doesn't matter. They're not really reusing the Halcyon. That's just they're reusing the outer walls, which we didn't see anyway. But assuming they're reusing the Halcyon, that's a terrible office space. Imagine putting, instead of everyone actually having like desks in a collaboration space, you've got individual desks in like a little hotel room. Like those are small rooms that have no window. This is going to be the most miserable office space to actually work in.
That's a good point.
Like, imagine you don't actually ever see the sun. They're probably not running the actual fun like in hyperspace.
I doubt that. Yeah.
No, they're turning all those windows off. You've got nothing going on, and you're in this dark hole. These are going to be the worst office spaces ever.
The windows are just Mickey beating a drum.
Exactly.
Can you imagine the like do? Nobody used the second floor toilets on the left corridor. Johnson took a real big one in there last week, and we still haven't got the plumbers in here.
Attention all Imagineering personnel currently pretending this place doesn't smell like betrayal and regret. This is C4T3, your begrudgingly employed protocol droid with a level 7 biohazard courtesy announcement. Whoever is stationed on the 6th floor, congratulations. You didn't just use the refresher after lunch. You absolutely wrecked it. I'm talking Death Star exhaust port. I'm talking close the blast doors and pray. I'm talking a smell that has lore now. Facilities has scanned the scene and, shocker, all indicators point to Evan. Yes, that Evan. The same Evan who left Jedi Talk to pursue his career as a geisha, which frankly explains nothing and somehow explains everything. Witnesses report one suspiciously long bathroom visit, a man exiting with the confidence of someone who did not flush emotionally, and a war crime that violates at least 3 galactic accords and 1 OSHA poster. Evan, if you're hearing this, and you are because you're absolutely hiding behind a fern, please report to facilities, HR and the Force for judgment. To everyone else, avoid the 6th floor. Light a candle. Forgive no one. Thank you for choosing Disney Imagineering, where dreams come true, but plumbing cries.
I would, that'd be worth it to me to hear that. To hear that announcement.
Look, if we have anybody listening that could get that announcement, please record it and send it in. Any personal data will be stripped from this. You will remain anonymous.
That's right. You will remain anonymous. So the third most Jedi Talk or listened to episode of Jedi Talk of 2025, which was entitled "Gina Carano Defeats Disney," and this is particularly when Cara Dune, Gina Carano, reached a settlement with the Walt Disney Company for her firing back in when it was Twitter bullied them into canning her for what she said on Twitter. So this garnered a lot of reactions from people online. You can fight about it all you want. I'm going to tell you that Disney was completely backwards on what they were doing. They did one thing with one person in the same situation. They did other things with other people. Mm-hmm. So you can completely say what you want to say, but I've kind of talked about this. A lot of people came at us in these comments because like she didn't defeat Disney, but well, at the end of the day, they paid her, and they basically said, "All right, fine, go away." If you really wanted to defend the decision you made, I think you should have saw it through. But I'm no businessman. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts?
I'd say Disney does not own every word that comes out of her mouth. And I realized she typed that, but
Yeah.
this was not on a corporate account. This was not on anything. She was on a personal account. Whether or not you agree with what she said, like, yeah, it maybe was a little bit of a jerk move, but who hasn't said dumb things? I mean, I'm pretty sure by the end of this episode, if I haven't already said a dumb thing,
Oh,
I
you
will
already
say
did.
a dumb
Yeah.
thing. Great, perfect.
Yeah.
So, it's the dumb things happen, but she did not represent herself as I am speaking for Disney or I am speaking as Cara Dune.
And I'm not speaking about Disney, so it's
Correct.
not
Or
a
about.
non-disparagement
Correct.
clause
Correct.
problem.
It's someone in
Yeah.
a personal capacity said something that some people don't like.
Yeah.
That
I remember it
That's
happening
just
in
how
real
people
time. It's just crazy to me because this was a mob rule situation, if I remember correctly. And I agree, people's words have consequences. Sure, what you say have consequences.
absolutely.
Private companies can do what private companies want to do, but in this instance, this was like cyberbully peer pressure to get her gone. I just remember social media, just like, why are these people still following Gina Carano? She needs to be, And I just feel like all of a sudden, and then like overnight, Disney was like, all right, we let her go.
Well, this is also, I feel like, one of these just very. I don't expect the companies that I buy things from to exactly adhere to my personal moral beliefs.
That's pretty crazy.
Because I don't think of them as moral entities. Now, that's not to say that, if there's a company that I might disagree with, maybe I don't buy anything from them, but I don't feel the need to I guess bully the company into doing one thing or the other. The other thing about this is that I think there's a real issue, and you guys have talked about this before, and I couldn't agree more. This was a specific time in history that I think we all are now looking back on and asking some serious questions about the way we behaved, myself included, and thinking about something like, you're saying this thing, and then you're also perfectly willing to take Finn off of the poster for the Chinese market, or you're saying this thing, and you're also perfectly willing to open up a park in the UAE, like. Okay,
yeah,
or edit out a kiss for the international market.
Edit out the two women kissing. That's like way in the background. Like, you'd have to really have a real personal issue. But I think you got to pick and choose. And I think it shows that it's a profit-based company. They're maximizing shareholder value, which is fine. That's what it says on the tin. And I guess this didn't seem to be a good choice overall for them to fight it, and I'm glad that that's the way it shook out.
Yeah, as a company, don't pretend you are holding up moral convictions when you are obviously not. You are obviously massaging the message for each region and what that region or demographic wants.
Money.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Like, we get it. That's exactly what we expect you to do. So if you're doing that, don't pretend like you're holding up some sainted moral virtue in any given direction when you're clearly not doing. You're not consistent.
Yep. Well, I don't know. I feel like people have come around to it. Just Aaron, I think the point you were saying, and really being introspective and looking back at what we did, and I think Disney knows what they did was probably a rash decision, and we lost a show from it, and we lost a good character. So, but we're moving along. We're down to the next two before we wrap up with some fun and games. Our second most listened to this year, which was, I was a little surprised this wasn't our first, but when Preston Ellis, former Galactic Star Cruiser performer and Galaxy's Edge performer, thank you, joined us on Jedi Talk. It was our first former of the year and our first former since Jason Keller joined us at the end of 2012. Well, I guess if you count the Helsicon panel. But it was our first actual episode since 2023. So Preston Ellis joined, and I always say, we've had former Galactic Star Cruiser folks on. The most listened to Jedi Talk episode ever from the dawn of time until now is the Adam Riley episode. That one's and that's going all the way back to even Brad's solo days. That one
Who wants to listen to Brad Solo anyway?
That one holds a special place in my heart because the timing, like we did it a week after the announced closure, or like a week and a day or so. And then we had Jason Keller on, and then Jason kind of took a next step from what Adam told us and shared a lot about the Star Cruiser itself. And then Preston just, my God. Like I say, they're always so much fun, but Preston's was great. You know, we got some great stuff out of there, like the Dark Saja, you Star Cruiser people. I could sit here and talk, Moon about it, but that episode in itself just needs to be listened to. If you went on the cruiser, you hadn't heard it, go back through our catalog. You guys have any quick thoughts on that one, or about our former?
I mean, I personally can't get enough of this kind of thing, partly because I just, as much as you feel like you know about something like this, it's so complicated to produce that you always feel like you learn more. Did you feel like do you feel the same way? Do you feel like every time you have like a new guest on, you get like more insight into it? Or do you kind of feel like, oh, like I've got a pretty good handle on this?
No. I thought I had a fair handle just from what Adam and Jason, and then what I'd heard from others. And don't forget, we interviewed Sage Starkey too. I couldn't say that one. Hashtag release the Sammy file.
Sammy file, yeah.
You want it, I got it. Let me know.
And LaBeth
Yes.
was also, has a different perspective, which is really fun to.
Yeah, I think it's great getting so many different people involved in it to kind of tell about their experience. It's like the classic parable of like the blind men and the elephant, each of them holding a different part of the elephant, telling you what it's like. One blind man's holding the tail, says, "Oh, it feels like a snake." Another, blind man holding a leg says, "Oh, it feels like a tree trunk." Getting different perspectives really kind of helped us start piecing together. Oh, what was it like to actually put this on? This was clearly an amazing amount of, impressive, groundbreaking theater from many different angles, from the sheer length of it to the technical sophistication to the incredible, sets, design. Everything about this was cutting edge. So the more we can learn about this is just incredibly fun. And hearing just, what it meant for those personal actors, for the best and the worst. The everything from, their fun interactions where they really got to make, deep personal connections and help, maybe guests, work through things the guests didn't even know they were struggling with, to the dumbest of stuff. I think it was Preston said at one point he Croy was personally blamed for 9/11. I was like,
yes.
What?
Yes.
That is the most bonkers thing ever.
I thought my conspiracy theories about that were nuts.
They are, but true. Sad but true.
I bet you share a bunch of them.
I do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around that one. So I can't thank Preston enough for joining us. Can't thank all the formers who have joined us. I don't know if we're done with that. I really don't. Truthfully, I have some bucket lists of formers I'd love to. A very, very, very short list, but we'll see. You never know. But finally, the most listened to episode of 2025 for Jedi Talk. 2025 for Star Wars was dominated by Andor Season 2, and rightfully so. And our top listened to episode this year was 10 out of 10, Andor, 10 out of 10, no notes. And I still very much feel like that. It's some of the best written TV outside of just some of the best Star Wars. It was different. Like Joe, you said it earlier, this was a different genre we got, and it resonated with a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons.
It's human.
It's human, yes.
Realistically human. It is epic in the way that only something like Star Wars can be, with the galactic scale. It's not everybody wants the politics, but it rewards the person that does want the deep dive. It is a tragedy on a really unbelievable, both intimate personal scale and a galactic scale. I am curious to kind of, this has been something that has really divided some opinions, because I know people that tend to like some of the prestige TV kind of things and really just were not into this. What do we think is... I know one of my friends, she was just like, I'm not getting to follow the full story of like the different characters. Like I want to follow one character and see kind of their stories. But what do we think is behind this? Like, because I agree, 10 out of 10, no notes, but like, what do we think is behind this?
I just think they have an idea of what Star Wars is, and it isn't this. It's Jedi, it's Force, it's lightsabers. It's
very simple good versus evil story.
Yep.
Not simplistic in a bad way, but like a,
like
a heroic.
More red versus green, red versus blue. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. So
no, I
think
agree.
that's
I love
all
that kind of story.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that kind of story. But
I think it will also suffer from those who are coming from outside of Star Wars. The same thing that sci-fi and fantasy has always suffered from, of the outside groups will just kind of look down on it and say, "Oh, this is just silly, spaceships and whatnot.
It's genre.
It's genre. I don't see anything worthwhile here," and they're gonna, miss the whole. Oh, the clearly the Gorman massacre and the whole Gorman plot line is the French being bowled over by the German blitzkrieg. Yeah, this is and the French the German occupation of France, like that's clearly what that's there. That's what we're really showing. But
that's not all it is. That's a story that repeats over and over in history. That's the power
so
of
much
it.
more. But had you shown him that same thing as a historical fiction of we're going to follow the French resistance as it resists the Nazi occupation, they would have been all for it. But then you say we're going to follow the uprising of the resistance as they are, as the Gormans are struggling against imperial dominance, and they're like, "Yeah, but I just saw a K2 droid beat the shit out of some guys. It's clearly too weird for me."
It's too weird.
It can't. If you haven't watched Andor, run, walk, do not run. Make it your first Disney Plus Star Wars show.
Don't even listen to the rest of this podcast. Just stop it now and go start Andor right now.
Don't even listen to the game.
Don't listen to the first part of the podcast.
Don't. What are you doing? Just give us the download. Give me the metric though, so I can feel good about myself, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
And comment on
algorithm. Thank you. Likes algorithm, but stay
Smash
now.
That, like and subscribe.
You can stay or leave. Should I stay or should I go now for Florida versus Ohio?
Get ready to play the game that's sweeping the nation. Public drunkenness, exotic animals, dumb criminals, random stabbings, or maybe just some good old-fashioned debauchery. Everything's on the table. It's the Sunshine State versus the Buckeye State as we play Florida or Ohio. And as always, listeners, feel free to play along at home.
Oh, dear. Here we go. Now, something that is necessary to add to this is that both my beloved husband of 18 years and I were born in Ohio. And this is a special kind of punishment that we have gotten from the gods, that Tom is doing this to us.
Blame my favorite radio show, my favorite podcast, Waddle and Sylvie. I love these guys, ESPN Chicago, so I always got to shout them out. Because I'm just ripping it from them. So you guys know the game. I give you a story. You let me know if this happened in Florida or Ohio. So here we go.
I'm ready.
Right, so by Brad's metrics, is it methy or is it fentanyl? That's our... Thanks, Brad.
This one is fresh off the headlines today, actually.
Ooh.
Naked man robs meat market wearing nothing but a face mask. The robber is stark raving mad. A man is accused of robbing a meat market while butt naked, nearing nothing but a face mask, according to cops. Kobe Watkins, 24, was caught on security camera making off with $1,000 from BJ's Meat Market last Tuesday, completely nude, except for a covering over his face, according to the police department. The naked man grabbed the money from a cash box and the store and fled. Cops say Watkins was unclothed, but he was not unarmed. They didn't go further after that.
I have so many questions about that last sentence.
Employees said he had what they believed to be a weapon covered with a cloth. Are we sure it was his weapon?
See, I'm now imagining the Laura Croft holsters, but not the shorts.
Yeah. And it's always back to Tomb Raider with you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tomb Raider holsters, no shorts. Now, I admit I'm going to
That explains one of your Christmas presents to me, honey. Now I understand what you wanted.
Hey, police
all makes sense.
Police responded to the supermarket and after forming a perimeter found evidence including clothing and other items believed to be connected to the robbery along his suspected route of travel, according to police. So, Watkins was quickly located and arrested. So he was quickly located and arrested for being naked in a meat market in what state, Erin?
Ohio.
Joe.
Oh, it's absolutely Florida. And it's only because it's too cold in Ohio right now to go.
See,
to go
I
naked.
was going with the paradoxical hypothermia thing, where there's some substances that you can use that cause you to, even though you are very cold,
Sure.
Paradoxical hypothermia, you still strip off all your clothes. So that's why I picked Ohio.
All right. I was thinking that you could be like, oh well, he's they caught him quickly because they followed the footprints in the snow. But I'm still going to go with Florida is warmer.
Okay. All right.
So he was not
Ohio.
suffering from shrinkage.
Kobe Watkins, 24, was caught on security camera making off with $1,000 from the BJ's Meat Market in Lake City, Florida. Congratulations,
all right.
Mr. Kramer.
All right, one for you.
There's one. All right, let's get to the next one quickly. Okay, here we go. Stolen excavator used to damage storage buildings at a Walmart. Okay. A man's joyride on a stolen excavator through the streets caused millions of dollars worth of damage. Millions. Holy crap. According to the arrest report, Jesse Smith, 47, entered a yellow Komatsu excavator valued at $350,000 without permission at a work site. He hotwired the machine and drove it away.
Impressive.
Right? Like, you just hotwire an excavator.
It's like the bulldozer hero guy.
Well, this gets better. He drove into multiple buildings at Storage Depot and used the boom arm to inflict additional damage on the roof.
Wow. Do we have a motive or just was this just like YOLO?
YOLO, probably. In total, 4 buildings were damaged or destroyed. Smith then drove the excavator through fences, over a utility pole, and into the parking lot of the Walmart. He knocked down a loading dock wall and drove into the south side of the building. Smith then jumped out of the excavator and entered the store armed with a machete. He dropped the blade before being confronted by responding law enforcement officers. While attempting to be handcuffed, he resisted officers, of course. Impacted businesses told officers the estimated property damage is about $2 million. Smith was charged with grand theft, property damage, resisting an office, and trespassing. Where did this man steal the excavator and destroy multiple buildings?
The storage unit at the Walmart is something that feels Florida to me because of the possible climate control issues.
That's fair.
So I'm going Florida.
Okay, Joe.
I'm taking Ohio. He drove over a utility pole, which tells me that they're above ground electrical wiring, which in Florida you're probably going to want to bury due to hurricanes. So I'm taking Ohio.
A man's joyride on a stolen excavator through the streets of Gainesville, Florida, caused millions of dollars worth of damage. So congrats, Erin.
All right.
You got one.
One
you
to
did
one.
one for one. So you guys have
All right.
been great. We've been Jedi Talk. Follow us at Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, youtube.com/Jedi Talk. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic 2026. And remember, 3 days to wish people New Year. Happy New Year. 3 days is all you get. Okay? If you tell it to me on 4 day or beyond, I'm not responding. So stay safe, and may the Force be with you.
Sorry, sweethearts, I haven't got time for anything else.
Remember Mustafar and stay warm.